to this workshop on the the GeoAI community of practice. I'm Eric Loubier. I am the director for the Canada Centre for Remote Earth Observation and Mapping. Um, and it's a pleasure to host this first workshop. We've had a few days of quite formal meetings. This morning we'll try to make this a little more informal. But before we do so, I'd like to thank our host, ECLAC, for hosting this week, but also this morning for accommodating us this way. The Secretariat as well, the outstanding organization of the entire week, fantastic, and also to the interpreter. Thank you very much, which had to go the extra mile this morning. Thank you very much for doing that for us. So we have people online, and so please, whenever you are going to be speaking, make sure you use your mic so they can hear you. And also, if you're in the back seats, well, come in the front and take a mic. So I will ask if there. I think I have a presentation, but if it's, you want me to start nonetheless? Uh-huh.
You have a technical issue with the slides.
Okay, but I can just speak but try to do this. I just don't want to waste too much time. Try to put the slide on and I'll catch up as we go. Not to waste too much time, leave as much time as possible to our presentators. I think you might appreciate more the content they'll present to you than my opening remarks. So you'll remember, and it was mentioned yesterday, that in 2023, UNGGIM Americas adopted a resolution that recommended that Canada organizes its community of practice, and we've been working at it ever since. It has grown. There's been good exchange. This is the community of practice of GeoAI. So today we're proud to present the terms of reference that have been developed, a work plan, training module initiative. So it's an opportunity to engage directly amongst ourselves on this topic, which holds quite a bit of promises for what we do in this business. As you know, it's an area of the entire business of Geo is an area of change. It's an area of technology. It changes all the time. Geo AI is an example of that. It's about efficiency, but it's also because it allows you to do things more efficiently, but it's more than that, right? It's about improving the decision making. It's about more integrated solutions. It's about changing the practice of cartography and location-based information. So we can integrate all sorts of information, geodata sets, multi-layer insight, intelligent automations, streamlining. The efficiency come being able to streamline repetitive task in a way that's never been done before. It's also analytics. It's also machine learning that can perform those complex spatial analysis. It's uncovering patterns that normally we would not have seen from our traditional methods. And it's also powerful displaying tools to generate interactive maps, dashboards, and digital twin to show trends and to support decision making more broadly. So all that being said, today the session will feature different presentation, and then we'll follow with an opportunity to have discussions among ourselves. I think the presentation you'll see today, they'll demonstrate a diversity of the community, different example, broad spectrum of perspective using AI. So we will have Nouri Sabo that some of you may have met this week, Thibaut Henin, also both from our organization in Canada, We'll have also representative from member state presenting, Dr. Luis Jose Ornelas, the AMDA from INEGI in Mexico. We'll have Simone Lloyd, also here from the National Spatial Data Management Branch in Jamaica. From the Academic Network for the Americas, we will be joined by Dr. Jaime Ortega, the Universidad de Chile. Our private sector network rep today, who you most likely know, Valerie Grant from Fugro, and Linda Peters from Esri. Have I seen Linda? Trying to find her. Okay. So potentially we'll have Linda with us. So remarkable the diversity from states, academia, industry across the America, exactly this kind of spirit we want for this community of practice, inclusive, collaborative, and engage. So hopefully you'll find what you came to look for. So it's just the beginning. It's the first workshop. It's the beginning of a journey. I hope this community, despite the room is small, the next time will grow and have more people around the table. So I'll leave it at that for now to leave as much time to our presentators. I think the first one today will be Dr. Luis Ornelas. I think, Dr. Ornelas, you are online. Let's just check if that works.
Okay, thanks. I was trying to unmute myself. Thank you very much. Should I start already?
Good morning. Now we
Good
can see you.
morning.
There's improvement.
Okay.
Let us. Can you hear us, Dr. Ornelas?
Yes, I can hear you.
And we can hear you.
Okay.
I think all we're missing here is the slides, the presentation, and we can get
Okay.
going. Oh, there you go. So I think we're set up. So I'll turn it to you, Dr. Ornelas.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much for the invitation. My name is Jose Luis Ornelas, and I work at INEGI now as a researcher. Before I was for many years in the mapping division, especially on natural resources. Okay, well, I will start the presentation. Okay, just a little bit of background before. And the theme is now vegetation. Why it is important to map vegetation? Well, it's the most visible expression of ecosystems. It's the most visible as when we go to any ecosystem, one of the first things that we see is the plants. So vegetation is the set of plants that are present in a given place. Vegetation is determined by climate. So is it dry or humid or cold, hot or temperate, and so on. And it can be modified by the local aspects of the relief or soil and things like that. As you may know, Mexico is a country with a very large biodiversity or world diversity in every aspect. Relief, in climates, and so on. And to make it even more diverse is that it is the region where there is contact between the two large biogeographical regions. One is the Nearctic to the north and the Neotropical to the south. So there are plants, there are animals from both zones, and they many times intermix or are present in different areas. So the complexity is enormous. And the variety, there are deserts, grasslands, forests, temperate forest and tropical forest, and so on. And the climate goes from hot to cold, and the arid to humid to very humid. So, and last, one could ask why vegetation mapping? There is commonly land cover mapping. Well, what happens is that the land cover classes are very, very general. There will not be separation, for example, between broadleaf forests, but there can be temperate broadleaf forests like oak forests, and several types of tropical broadleaf forests. And also the vegetation condition, is it primary or is it secondary growth? All of that we consider. So we have about 58 vegetation types, again, all the way from temperate forest with, for example, pine, fir, oak, mixed, cloud forests, and several types of tropical forests too, like evergreens, semi-evergreen, deciduous, thorn, and so on. Grasslands, several types of grasslands, shrublands, and so on. And about the condition, is it primary vegetation like old growth or secondary growth? So the combination of both gives lots of categories. Well, vegetation mapping at INEGI started about more than 50 years ago, first at the 1 to 50,000 scales, and then it was changed to 1 to 250 in the 80s. So as you can imagine, first it was produced as analogic vector maps, and it was based initially on aerial photograph interpretation, and then it changed to satellite imaging. But even so, the method was based mostly in visual interpretation. It has been useful for lots of for policies, for biodiversity, for research, and so on. And no other agency produces vegetation map at a national level. Okay, well, but there are some limitations. One is the being purely based on visual interpretation. It is very prone to inconsistencies and errors. It is very subjective. The detail 1 to 250,000 is just not enough for current needs. And this one too. Essentially, the method has not been changed in more than 45 years. And so we need more spatial detail, more accuracy, faster production time. So better quality, of course. Of course, we also have to consider the conceptual evolution products and certainly new tools. Okay, so what are the components for this new method? One is, of course, the knowledge or domain knowledge. So, we need to have a deep understanding of the theme, in this case, the vegetation dynamics, vegetation types, and plant ecology. But also, of course, the spatial data availability, mostly in remote sensing in the several aspects, optical, radar, LiDAR, and so on. And of course, other geospatial data. We need to have where to process all that. So more processing power, storage, that, and certainly now with the AI, the analysis tools. So this is on the one side, software tools. The other, well, the knowledge, especially the direct knowledge in the field. Well, they're having several expert meetings, workshops since 2018, 2022, and just last week we had another one. So there are several data sources. We started initially only with Landsat imagery, but currently we are using harmonized Sentinel and Landsat. That gives us much bigger number of observations in the year. But having been harmonized with Landsat, with the Landsat resolution telemeters, it demands a lot more space, but in a linear way, not in an exponential way. It's going from 30 meter to 10 meter resolution. Okay, and here you can see some of the other layers. I will stop in each of them. We made also a data registration of all of the layers to the open geospatial data cube grid designed for Mexico. We use the Albers key area projection so that areas can be calculated easily and so on. Okay, well, we opted for a supervised classification using training data. So each of the training points was labeled with the vegetation type and condition, or some type of land cover if it is not vegetation, like water, built-up area, and some others. So the label assignment requires make visual interpretation, but also take in account all the other ancillary layers. Okay, oh, sorry for that. So now the training model. This is the, okay, well, I will stop more on this. So at the end is just right now we are using a multi-layer perceptron model, so it's fairly deep learning with close to 500,000 parameters. Well, this is the scheme, the input layer, several hidden layers, and the output layer. Okay, well, as to the results, we are getting about 62 to 63 accuracy estimated, but using something that we call meta labels, it goes to about 70%. But we are working very hard to improve it. So once we have the trained model, we can produce the map, applying the model to each and every pixel in the country, at 10 meter resolution, and take advantage of graphic card, the NVIDIA graphic card, to accelerate the processing. Okay, so we will take a close, very fast view of the results. Well, this is the national mosaic for 2008. This is the last version of the map. So very summarized. The greens are for temperate forest, red and purple are for tropical forests, and several other ecosystems. So you can see a lot of the variety. and some close-ups. This is a very arid zone in the north, a volcanic region. It's called El Pinacate. This is the Gulf Coast. You can see all the way here from tropical ecosystems to temperate and even cold. Here, this is a very high portion. Soil erosion is a great problem in some areas. This is an area with tropical rainy evergreen forest. What remains of it is this. All the other areas like this are secondary growth forest. Here it's in the Yucatan Peninsula. Okay, well, I have to conclude. There are some other steps that need to be made to keep improving the training data. This is one very, I think it's not being considered many times when you have a very, very noisy training data, and certainly to have more advanced, more literally more deep learning models using convolutional networks, transformers, and so on. Okay, well, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Ornella. And even though I didn't mention, and I should have earlier on, that try to keep your presentations within a 10 to 12 minute, and you've done a tremendous job at doing that. So thank you. So now I'll turn to Nouri Sabot and Thibaut Henin from Canada to present. And if you can do that within 10 minutes, that would be fantastic.
Well, yeah, do our best. So thank you, everyone. We're still working on getting the presentation on the screen. Should be figured out shortly. But yes, it's been an eventful morning. But I think I was to present a little bit on, again, the Community of Practice with a little bit more detail. So for those who were here yesterday, I gave a bit of an overview. And I wanted to, in this presentation, share a little bit about the logic of the training plan that we have. So we're very excited that we now have the terms of reference and work plan, and we are now officially a community of practice. Oh, and so to get a sense of where we're going in January, the private sector network is going to be hosting the first module of the work plan, which will provide an overview of the prerequisites and some fundamentals that you need before embarking in an GeoAI journey. Then, I may be able to, one moment. Okay, we might have slides here. No puedo, it's okay. See if this, see. One moment here. I think we have it. Hey, we have slides. Okay. So thank you for your help. We've been scrambling here with the flooding. So to give a sense of the training program, the logic is, so we'll begin with the prerequisites, and then the first next modules after that are to build some basic fundamentals of machine learning and deep learning. Okay, how do I maximize? I don't use start slideshow. Okay, there you go. Yes, so the logic is we're learning about deep learning, machine learning in non-image data and then we move towards more image data. So Canada will do the first 3, and as each step you build more and more knowledge, then the Americans with USGS will be expanding that into practical applications on GeoAI, and then Canada and the United States will work together on delivering a session on operational automation, theory and practice. Another important aspect I want to add is that next week I'll be reaching out first to find someone to volunteer to receive nominations to be a facilitator. So I'll first ask for a third party that would be willing to accept nominations, and then we will ask for nominations for 3 facilitators following the UN GGIM America's silence procedure. And then that'll give us the facilitators for a period of 2 years. So if you're interested, please reach out to me. But I want to make space for my colleague Nori Sabo to present on Canadian use cases, which I think is one of the main reasons we're all here today. If you'd like to join the community of practice, please send me an email. I'll add you to the list. All are welcome. All member states, sub-organizations, private sector, academics. We'd love to have you participate. And if you are having an event, send me an email or email directly to the list and share with us. We'd love to participate. So without further ado, I hand it over to my colleague, Nori Sabo.
Good morning. My name is Nori Sabo. I'm leading the GeoAI group at the Canada Center for Mapping and Earth Observation. So I will do my best to be in time. So I will try to show you some use cases that we are working on. But before to jump in, just to give you a little bit some context, on our journey, on GeoAI. We started looking at this opportunity, back to 2017. So we were in a period where we saw a decrease in our capacity in terms of resource. And GeoAI was, I think, an opportunity for us, to make sure that we can do more with less. So it was the driver for us to start working on that. So we started, with a very smart project, I think in 2017, 18. And after that, we developed, a framework. So, and GeoAI, I think one of the challenges is, to have the capacity in terms of infrastructure. So we started developing, a kind of infrastructure that can support, this business. Another challenge, is the training data. I think it is the key. GeoAI is the data science. So the data, I think it is the most important I can say. For sure, there are other challenges. So what we did, we leveraged the already existing data in our organization. We tweaked, this data to make sure that they can fit, in the new models that we developed. After that, I think when you have the all ingredients, so data, infrastructure, and tools, so it is time, to put all this, in production. So it is what we did. I think in 2022, we operationalized, the capacities that we developed. And now most of our activities related to mapping are done, using this capacity. So using GeoAI. In 2023, we launched, a series of data that we call GeoAI data series that is open. And now we publish continuously, this kind of data, which is a high resolution data. So now we are in the phase that we continue to develop. So what I can say with GeoAI, we got, a huge capacity that allows us to continue to develop additional use cases. So you can go maybe next slide. So what we see, after the development of this capacity, we did a shift, from a national mapping, but to a kind of mapping where we try quickly, to develop tools to address, emerging issues. So we say that to map what matters, when and where it matters. I think it is very important. If you want to move closer, to the users, you have to develop this capacity that allow you to move quickly to make sure that if there is an emerging issue, you can address this. So I think I gave you, some idea in terms of the different components, of GeoAI that we developed. So first of all, I think I will repeat is the data. The second is the infrastructure. The third one is the development of the different models. And you have to make sure that the tools that you develop can fit, in your pipeline of if you are a mapping agency, you need to put this in production. I think it is maybe the most difficult part because we have already processes in place. And now you have a new technology that you can bring, in the organization. This part, I think, is not only a technical part. It's, I think, a change management. I think it's the key. Many organizations, I think, they forget this part. I have the right technology, but if people will not, be on board, this technology, will not work for you. So, second. So I think the reason of the meeting today, is to show some use cases. It was very difficult for us to choose some of them. We have more than 40 projects, now in parallel, at the Canada Center for Mapping and Earth Observation. So we did our best, to choose 3 of them regarding, the participants. Maybe you can have some interest on that. The first one is the change detection. Here you can see a map of change detection that we developed across Victoria in British Columbia. It is a comparison, of data from 2004 versus 2023. Next. Here, so you can see, a sport or event development, where we have a lot of, buildings, and very high, change, in the landscape. From this map, we can we zoom in, so we can see here. We developed a heat map. So why we developed, this tool? It is because, mainly, we are, a mapping agency. We want to continue, to update the data that we have across the country. Don't forget, Canada is 10 million square kilometers. You cannot do, back to back, every year. So we need to have a tool that allows us to spot, to go directly. We know that there is change, in this area, and we will update specifically this area instead of doing, a back-to-back update. Here it's another example of change detection based, on low-resolution data. The difference between the two change detection here, we do, on top of that, we do a classification. So we define the type of changes that we have. So, and we can also quantify, the change. Here you see, it's a kind of burn scar that we had, after your one fire. You can see what is the portion of forest, that was affected, by the wildfire. The next example is the flood susceptibility index. It is a tool that we developed, in order to make sure that we can understand the areas of potential risk of flooding. It is not an engineer map, but it can help us to prioritize where to invest, in terms of developing, the high resolution flood maps. Next. Here, very interesting example. I call it, back to the future. So, in many organizations, have, a huge, asset, of historical data. But unfortunately, those data they are not properly used because we already focused, on the new data. But here, there is, if you want to look to the future, you need, to look back, to the past. And only using historical data, we can do so. In Canada, we have a huge asset back to 1920s, around 6 million of aerial photos. What we did, we leveraged AI, to automate, all the processes, related to the historical data. So we do the matching, to make sure that those data are properly aligned with, the new imagery. We improved, the resolution using, the what we call a super resolution. And also we can give some colors, in order to facilitate, interpretation. So historical data is very interesting. So I think I will stop here regarding the time. I think I'm not, oh, I'm done. Okay, great. So just one additional word. So we are not doing this alone. We leverage partnership, with private companies, with the industry, and also we try, to share the experience, that we have with, our colleagues, with other countries, and also to transfer, maybe the experience. I think it's the reason we are here. So yeah, I will stop here.
Merci. Thank you very much, Nouri. Who is next? Simone. I think Simone, you are next. So we will, while you introduce your subject, we'll get your slides up. So the next 12 minutes are yours.
Thank you so much, Eric. Morning, everyone. Buenos dias. So Nuri did an excellent job of providing background and context, of which I'll be building on. Thank you so much, Nuri. So based on the expertise of the Canadian company, Natural Resources Canada, the government of Canada, and based on the Canada Technical Assistance Partnership Program that they would have reached out to member states within the Caribbean through CariGeo and UNGGM Americas to share through Eric. So you would have reached out and he would have shared about the TAP program. This would have been, I think, around 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. So Eric would have told us about the program, and with that encouraged us to apply for the program and to benefit based on all that's provided in terms of technical assistance. And so with that, yes, see. Okay, so based on that, we would have, through CariGeo, reached out to Dominica. So Dominica would have been key in terms of the Commonwealth of Dominica, which sits in the Eastern Caribbean, to find out from them what challenges they were having and to see if GeoAI could help them with respect to examining their challenges and coming up with solutions. So they would have spoken to the fact that disasters is a challenge, the problem also of generating data, and generating data quickly was also a challenge that they were experiencing. So Dominica came on board and agreed to apply for the program. And so it's a partnership. So Nuri would have spoken about partnership, where the TAP program is concerned, it's a partnership. So apart from the initial reaching out, we would have then done liaising within our countries to find out who are the relevant persons who would be involved in the process to get the approval. So it meant speaking with other government agencies in Dominica, also in Jamaica, also speaking with the Canadian embassy that's based in our country to find out more details about the program and what is the process to get approval. So we would have started that process. They would have assisted us significantly, that's Jamaica and Dominica, with respect to drafting, building out what that proposal would be, given the challenges that we experience as small island developing states. So key for us was disasters. So the use of drones, the use of GeoAI to help us to examine that, but also with respect to generating data and doing so in a quick manner, an efficient manner to address whatever challenges we're having. So over time, based on that, I'm sorry. How can you? Yes, you can continue. Thank you. Yes, so based on that, Dominica would have benefited from capacity development. So with that, the Canada team would have traveled there. So many thanks to Matthew, to Nuri, to Mosde, primarily for all the hard work that they would have put in back and forth, the travels to the Caribbean to be on ground with us, facilitate the capacity building workshops, but also the team in terms of Dominica would have also traveled to Canada to benefit from training there. So the second slide, the other slide, should have some photos of that. So the trainings that were facilitated would have been drone related, would have been GeoAI related. And with that, the team would have looked at doing extraction. So they would have extracted building data, road data, also ravines, river data sets. They would have looked at categorizing buildings by roof types, also extracting roads, trails, and building and rivers, ravines in particular. But one of the challenges that they spoke to was cloud cover, that they were having cloud cover challenges, especially with respect to generation of the images, but also the fact that they needed to go in the field and do a lot of ground truthing, right? So they would have expressed that. So they spoke about the level of holding of hand that would have been extended to assist them with learning the processes, the different open source tools that would have been utilized. So QGIS in particular, the trainings that would have been done in that, all the procedures in terms of them being able to develop the skills to train the data. And so Nuri would have spoken about the importance of archival data to help with respect to providing that background and contents, and then from that now, that being used to help with respect to the whole training process. So they would have benefited from all of those. With that, they would have expressed that the GeoAI has advanced the process for them in data extraction. And that was a major challenge for them. With that, they're able to now do updating of their data sets more regularly and quickly. So much more efficiency where that is concerned would have been expressed. So just a few photos of them there in Canada being trained and what that process looked like. And so they speak with glowing commendations to the Canadian team for all the hard work and for the sojourn and all that they have benefited from under the program. So thank you, Manarkan. So on to Jamaica. So for Jamaica, we would have started the program last year, November, with an official launch. And this would have been under the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Then we have recently changed to Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development based on the recent elections in Jamaica in September. So we would have officially launched back then. And then after that, so the Canadian team came twice. They came for that session. We then had trainings. And then after that, we would have gone through the process of looking in detail. So what are our objectives? What it is that we want to get out of the project? So definitely capacity building. The fact that our background with GeoAI is very new. And so us being aware of that and developing our skill sets so that we can take on the project, be successful with the project, and be able to apply whatever knowledge and skills would have garnered through the project in the future. Technology transfer was also key for us. The acquisition of equipment under the program, in particular drone equipment, was key for us also. Research and development was the next objective, which was important for us. So us being able to develop pilot applications that test the AI-driven decision support for disasters is key, and especially within Jamaica's current context based on what we're going through currently. Data integration, so the whole merging of data from multiple agencies for situational awareness, and with that being able to inform response where disasters are concerned, but also with respect to collaboration, that of partnerships. And this would be amongst local entities, national entities, but also international, given the whole need for disaster management, a collaborative approach with respect to disaster management. So we would have had 2 workshops, these national workshops. The Canadian team would have been with us at our Land Information Council of Jamaica's Geoinformatics Training Center. With that, we would have been exposed to GeoAI and machine learning fundamentals, also drone data acquisition techniques and photogrammetry in terms of details. They did an excellent job, and Matthew are breaking it down for us. As technical as it was, even when we weren't getting it, yeah, they were so patient. I can't stress that enough, how patient they were. But yeah, so it was very good. The sessions, it involved members from our Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, from our local municipal corporations, from our Jamaica Fire Brigade, our National Geospatial Agency, our National Land and Mapping Agency, or Forestry Department also. So all of those entities would have been a part of the training experience. So it would have been 9. With that, the whole exposure to accuracy with respect to data collection using drones, but also the processing of drone imagery and what the procedure is, what is that workflow. So we would have explored that. We would have also explored what it means to do the training with respect to data and the whole creation of deep learning models. We would have gone through that in detail, and in particular, photogrammetric analysis procedures, right? So key would be the fact that we would have, during the process, been exposed to, previous slide, please, the one with the arrow. Yeah, configure drones for the data collection process, the whole training, the whole imagery analysis procedures, all of that. And so with that, we would have built, because we started with 9, so 9 agencies and the teams. So we tried as best as possible to ensure that the same persons who were involved in the first workshop were able to be involved in the second workshop, so there would have been consistency. We, however, had some changes based on the availability of the team members from the various government entities, but we're happy that there was at least an 80% overlap in terms of persons who were involved in the workshops, all right, for continuity. And importantly, 5 of those team members from 5 government entities will be journeying to Canada in the next 2 weeks to then go into deep machine learning training. So we're looking forward to that experience, right? So with that, the whole conceptualization of the project was key. So with each workshop, how it is that we refine the workshop, there was a lot of effort made with respect to reaching out, getting as much data as possible. So although we have a national geospatial repository, a lot of effort was made to reach out to other government entities to get as most current data as possible to inform the project and the whole training experience. So greater effort will be made where that is concerned to ensure that we have sufficient data to assist where the project is concerned. And in particular, given the fact that the focus is on disaster resilience, disaster management, and in particular, being able to conduct assessments after an event, we're going to be applying the knowledge of which we have garnered so far and will be garnering in the next training and throughout the remaining phases of the project, we'll be applying that with respect to our current situation, that of Jamaica going through the response efforts now, given the impact of Hurricane Melissa last week. So under the trainings we would have gone through, we would have looked at how it is that we assess buildings based on minimal damage, minor measure, and total devastation, because that is going to be what is used to apply to us being able to do the detailed damage assessments for key areas that were extensively impacted by the recent hurricane. All right. In respect to our future plans, stop right there. So importantly, a pivotal part was the fact that we were able to get drone technology onto the project. So there was an official handover ceremony at the Canadian Embassy in Jamaica, where two drones were handed over to us. And then after that, we went through the process with our local entities in terms of other government entities who are using similar drones to go through the process of configuring the drones, testing them, and with that now, us going through the process of going through detailed training where the use of those drones are concerned. And they are also going to be used with respect to supporting our efforts in terms of the assessments, right? Continue. Yeah, so that's just us going through testing and all of that. So where our future is concerned, can continue. All right, so in terms of our future with respect to outlook, so the scaling of the drone-based mapping efforts for flood zones and for landslide-prone areas is key. For Hurricane Melissa, we experienced a lot of storm surges, but also flooding. Flooding throughout, whether it was riverine flooding, coastal flooding, flash floods, and so that is important for us. Creating AI training data sets from hazard imagery archives is key. The efforts that are being done right now by Jamaica Flying Labs and other key drone entities, of which Jamaica Flying Labs is coordinating with respect to the response efforts, the damage assessment and response efforts for Jamaica, is also going to be key with respect to assisting where the project is concerned. Also institutionalizing the GIS workflows within the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, and also the local government entities, and also the whole continued technical support from NRCan for applied research in the future and whole system scaling. So we look forward to, after the project ends this December, towards the end of this year, that we will still be able to collaborate with NRCan in terms of providing technical support for continuity. All right, so these are just a few photos where the hurricane is concerned. This is of Black River, a very historic town, the first town in Jamaica to receive electricity. It has a lot, or it had a lot of historical sites. It has a lot of historical context, and it is now totally devastated. This is just a small aspect of it that we're seeing in this photo, but it's much larger than this, and it is almost unrecognizable, including the hospital that is within that area. So being able to do thorough assessments through the use of AI is going to be very integral for us with respect to our response and our relief efforts. Thank you. And just to say that we are in full support, Jamaica that is, and Dominica, with respect to coming on board and becoming members of the GeoAI community of practice. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Simone. And we are looking forward to have you in Canada for the next round of this training. And as you will see, there is nothing like a little visit in Canada at the end of November, December to improve your climate resilience.
Okay.
So next in line, I know, so we'll go to Valerie for your presentation. So you have also have like 12 minutes. The floor is yours.
Okay, well, I'm not the important one there because there are going to be 3 presenters. Oh, there we go. Sorry, that's better. So good morning, everyone. I am having a little challenge, and in the interest of time, I will just say that my colleague who is going after me, Morgan John, he will get through some of the use cases for Fugro. This is a presentation on behalf of the private sector network that is being done by Fugro and Esri. Fugro and Esri have an amazing partnership, and we are on the data side, and Esri's obviously on the software side of things. And so this partnership really helps us to expand our reach. And so we'll be sharing with you some of the applications that we are doing in GeoAI that is in mostly the coastal and marine space. And my colleague Morgan John can just cue that up because he's next. So he can go ahead and share his screen. And then Linda will be looking at something that is very key for small island developing states, where we have a proof of concept called Big Ocean Insights, and it's based on a case in Grenada. And so you'll be seeing some more of what we're doing in that GeoAI space. So I'll hand over to Morgan John.
So we now can see the slide. Morgan, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear
Yes.
see me okay?
Yes, perfect.
Great.
You can go along.
Okay. So good morning, everybody. I'm tuning in from Norfolk, Virginia this morning. Me and our GeoAI team at Fugro have been working with the Norfolk team, training them all week on GeoAI foundation, machine learning, and deep learning. So without further ado, I've really loved everyone's presentation so far. I didn't realize the GeoAI community was so big and diverse, and it's really great to see everyone's presentations. And a lot of what people have said has really resonated with me because the way we look at GeoAI and our core vision at Fugro is really pairing the geodata intelligence, the geodata collection, with the geodata specialist. We've been working with a team of about 4 geoscientists over the past 4 years, developing our GeoAI workflows and model development. And we really see there's a significant amount of value when you train a geodata expert on how to use AI tools. So that's what we're doing, and really what that does is it builds a significant amount of trust and transparency, because you're basically getting the best of both worlds. You're getting a geoscientist that understands the data and understands the responsible use of of AI and the outputs that you receive. And the biggest thing from an external viewing point is that, you know, we're attempting to drive efficiency and our quality and scalability and our client responsiveness at a much faster rate. I probably will glaze over this because it seems like everyone knows what GeoAI is, but just in terms of what we like to see it is our models do produce high quality, accurate results, and they're consistent and they're repeatable, which is incredibly important. Being able to generate outputs very fast for our clients in real time, especially if there are critical moments where information is going to be most useful at critical moments, not only on a project, but during sensitive times when disaster happens. We do have a agile model library that we've put together over the past 4 years, and we do leverage Esri's deep learning tools to do our work. For a little bit more of the interesting stuff, we play in both the marine and land space. So we've developed models that can detect, not only detect contacts or debris on the seabed, but also distinguish the difference between boulders and man-made infrastructure. We've developed models where you can we can map and delineate sand crests, which these bed forms change very, very often, sometimes on the scale of weeks, months, years. And being able to go back and do periodic temporal analysis and mapping at speed is incredibly important, because mapping something like this by hand would just take way too long. Again, drag scars are very important on the East Coast for marine fisheries. All these dark gray lines that you see delineate fishing activity, and the areas in red have not been mapped because of the density of which those drag scars occur. The green indicate what we did map by hand, and we use those data as training data to fill in the gaps. We do this because we go back again and do temporal analysis to see how the seabed is recovering over time, and being able to map that quickly to then go into the analysis is incredibly important. Seabed sediment mapping is another thing we can do. We do this quite a lot when it comes to geotechnical and foundation planning for a lot of our stakeholders. And even more importantly is essential fish habitat mapping. So we take our seabed sediments mapping approach, and then we funnel that into looking at complex habitat for our marine fishery regulatory bodies. And this is just a quick brief methodology in which we use multi-beam backscatter and side scan reflectivity. We extract certain values and set certain training data parameters, and then we run iteration and training, and we then calibrate all our results with ground truth data, grab samples or box cores. Moving into land, we've developed a robust models to do land coverage mapping, NOAA Coastal Change Analysis Program. This is a county in South Carolina, and we were able to map this entire area within a matter of months and get it into a fine detailed product for NOAA's Coastal Change Analysis Program. Another ability that we have is to look at change detection. As you can see, this is a grayscale satellite image from 2018. And then changing over to 2020, going back again, 2018 and 2020, we trained models to map out certain key areas like land, sandbars, rivers, clouds, to filter those out. And then we used change detection to see where those accretion and erosion areas are located. We've also starting to look at doing some applying GeoAI for seagrass mapping. Fugro's taken part in a massive RAMS LiDAR survey across the eastern border of Florida. And our intention is to leverage some of that data to look at doing some seagrass analysis. Our colleagues in Italy already are doing this for a project called ISPRA, and our methodologies are to take RAMS hillshade backscatter data and extract seagrass areas, and then calibrate those with either ortho imagery and other hyperspectral data. And last but not least, mangroves as an example, showing the ability to map mangroves at scale. In this particular case, this is just a small sample, and what I've shown you today has all been small little samples of much larger areas, and we typically used the desktop application to do a lot of that work, but we can scale using Deep Learning Studio, which allows us to ingest large complex data sets. And again, just to reiterate my point from the beginning is our approach at Fugro is to really pair the geodata expert and partner with the best specialists in using GeoAI, and we're really enjoying the journey. And thank you for your time. I'll pass it on to Linda.
Oh, I want to share many tabs. Entire screen. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not giving me
Okay.
permission.
If you could just stop sharing, Morgan, please.
I'm sorry, I'm trying. There we go.
Okay, but it's not letting me share.
It was doing the same thing for me.
All right. Let's see. All right, perfect. So a little bit of context from me. Some of you may recall a couple of years back, we did some work with Grenada to start to build a digital twin of that country. And I want to share just briefly a document that talks about what's in that data, because we're all geographers here and we want to know. So Fugro had flown the island. They did it with LiDAR, with aerial RGB, also near infrared. We got topo LiDAR out of it, ortho photos out of it, 20 centimeter resolution. If anybody's interested in the details, happy to share that. But this really rich data set was made available. And so we worked then to extract many features. We extracted the buildings, we extracted the roads, we extracted the trees, we extracted the power lines, we extracted the hydro. Anything that we could extract, we extracted and created this beautiful digital twin. So if any of you know Grenada, it's got amazing terrain and lots of beautiful places. So here we are over in beautiful St. George. Right. Fast forward and beginning to work more closely with Fugro now, we thought, well, what else could we do with this? And Fugro had this great, rich bathy data and water quality data, so we added that into the model. And that is the beginning of what is now going to be called Big Ocean Insights. This is envisioned to have applications for different areas. Our first launch of this is Insight Grenada. So we took that digital twin, we added on all that other rich data, and then we did something really interesting. We put a generative AI toolkit on top of it. So what does this let me do? It lets me understand what's in there. Now, I do have to know something about the data. I can't just ask a random question and hope I get an answer. There's a lot of layers of information in here. So if you can look at the legend, I don't know if that's visible there, it shows you the variety of data that's contained within here. So we began to write prompts, and we give you a few prompts here to be able to see what's possible. So I'm going to do something simple. Where are the nearest emergency shelters to St. George? I ask that as a question. The AI prompt comes back and gives me the result. And it tells me there's 3 shelters in St. George, and here they are. And I can click on one of those to identify it, and I can come over here on the map and get further information about that location. Meant to be simple, right? Ask questions, get answers. Let's do another one. Let's take a look at the Lake Chlorophyll A quality in August of 2024 for Lake Maurice. So again, it's going to go back. It's going to calculate that. And now it's zooming me into one of the results. So I can click on one of these results again and see that highlighted on the map and come here and get more information about that. It doesn't stop there though. So the question is, what do you want to ask? My team worked to put together various prompts, and sorry, my Word document is not showing on the screen, but let me grab another question. I want to know, where is the shoreline eroding? Sorry?
Took a while.
Oh, it caught up. So now it's giving me the response on shoreline erosion is occurring at 10 locations along the Lavera shoreline. And it's indicated by negative long-term shoreline changes. And again, I can select on any one of these individual points and get the information that's behind it. So that's my quick demonstration of what is possible. This is a proof of concept right now. We are interested in feedback. If you like the idea, you don't like it, you know, what would you be interested in seeing? Those are all things we want to hear from you. Thank you.
Thanks. And just to round it. Yeah. And just to round it all up, one of the reasons why we decided to do especially this proof of concept for Caribbean SIDS, starting with Caribbean SIDS, but starting out with Grenada, is that we recognize a fundamental problem, that there's a lack of on-demand geospatial intelligence in terms of a platform that creates access and interpret complex coastal and marine data. There is what we call that white ribbon problem. And so that's one of the reasons we're focusing on the coastal problem. The other thing is that we also recognize that there's a shortage of skilled professionals a lot of time in many of the SIDS. And so with that, the engineers, the planners, the other folks do not need to be geospatial professionals. They can simply ask these questions in natural language. They can get the answers, they can see on the map, and they can have the information that could lead to decisions. So it's insights on demand. That's what we're aiming to present. And so that's one of the things that GeoAI allows us to do. And so for those Caribbean persons who are here, we are going to have a more fulsome demonstration tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the Medina room. So we are hoping that, no, sorry, today. Sorry. Yes. Yes. Let's do that again. Today in the Medina room. And so we're hoping that you'll join us. And thank you so much for the opportunity to present what we're doing as the private sector, a small slice of that to this group. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot to all of you three. Now we're going to move to the academic network. So we're joined by Dr. Jamie Ortega from Universidad de Chile. Well, the slide is already up. We're improving our skills. Okay. So to you, Dr. Ortega.
Yes, thanks for the invitation. Firstly, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm representing the Copernicus Lab Center, which is based here in Chile. We have a brother in Panama. These two centers are working and promote the use of Copernicus system in the region. For that reason, all our services are focused in all regions. The region is all Latin American and Caribbean. And for that reason, I'm going to present a couple of services in which we are working. Please, the next one. Okay. The name of artificial intelligence appear everywhere. There's a lot of people doing things and thinking what is. But the main thing is that artificial intelligence is not replacing the people. This is the first thing. They can reproduce what we can do, reproduce some of them. And the main idea of GeoAI is how we can use how we can find patterns, correlation, and things like that with geospatial information. This geospatial information are satellite image, drones, in situ data, etc., etc. This is the main idea, and we are working I'm going to present two example principal what we are doing in terms of the land use and land map cover maps, and also the urban atlas. But we are working in another one. Please, the next one. Well, one of the main things, the next one is we are the next. Yes, perfect. We are working in the use of artificial intelligence for construction of land use and land cover for all Latin American and Caribbean. The main problem here is that Latin American and Caribbean is very heterogeneous. We have Iceland, we have desert, we have glaciers, we have everything. And for that reason, thinking in make good product for all the region is a real challenge. For that reason, the first thing is we want to do this not alone. The first thing is I'm going to profit the opportunity here to express that we are working in a collaboration with a lot of people, and for that reason we need help. We live in Chile. Chile is in the south of the world, and we are far away from every country, and for that reason, the unique way to make good product for all the region is working together. For that reason, please feel free to think that all these products, we need a co-construction for all these products. We need data. We need to understand what are your needs, and for that reason, this is very important. In the last year, we produced with the team. Part of the teams behind me, they made the real work. And we make a first map of land use and cover for all the region. We use some at the beginning. We use more classical method for artificial intelligence. That mean random forest and so on, other ones. But the main problem for our maps was we need data. And this is the main problem. The technology in GeoAI is very advanced. The people are talking about transformers and neural network and fancy numbers, fancy names, but all these things work good with good data. If we don't have good data, we can do nothing. And for that reason, it's very important to find a way to create protocols, common protocols in the region, in order to have data and the availability to share this data. This is the main task. The main task is not the algorithms. It's not the machine for medicine. The main task is how we can share data. And for that reason, the first thing that we need is to try to looking for in a good way to create these protocols with the metadata of all these things. This is the main problem. We make these maps. We take in the first time we get some public data from some couples of maps and sources. What we do in the first day, we think that the climate in the region are very, very different. For that reason, we're looking for some kind of classification, the more classical Copenhagen classification of the climates, and we make some example with something called machine learning. The next one, please. In our maps, the first example, we consider only 7 classes, but in the next we have republished the maps of 2023 and 2024, but consider 11 classes. Why 11 classes? Because FAO has a classification on 11 classes, and the main idea is to try to looking for another kind of protocol, and the protocol what we think was considered the FAO classification. This is something that we talk with the people here in ECLAC, with Alvaro, with 7 people, with Rosario also. And the main idea is we want to start with this classification, but our main challenge is go ahead and pass to level 2 classification, level 3 classification. But again, this classification we cannot do alone. We need all the people in the region. We say we need this classification. I was in Costa Rica some time ago, and the people say we need the pineapple because pineapple is our principal commodity, and for that reason we need this information in order to think how we can do together. The next one, please. But we pass to another part. We don't consider now only the climate, not only the climates. We consider the biomes. The biomes is more, is a better way in order to consider the different regions of the region in general. For that reason, we consider this classification. For have an idea of this classification, we start thinking it if we have enough data from Mexico, Brazil, Chile, and Argentina, we can have all the classification more or less of the region. The biomes of Caribbean, for instance, are not too far away from the Caribbean, the Mexican Caribbean, for that reason. But we need Caribbean. We need you. And I'm going to make some publicity. We will start in a project about sargassum, and we need you also. Okay, so we are talking with some people in Barbados. And the next one, please. The next one. what we do, we pass to another kind of class of another kind of algorithms, but we use now neural networks. We use deep learning algorithms in order. But here you can see we need to train this guy, but to train this guy we need meat, and for that we need this meal is the data of the region, and for that reason that's what we do. The next one, please. And this was more or less our results. With this, the results are published in our webpage. Please, you can download, use, critic. We need to see what we can do in a good way, but we need also what we get in bad way. This is very important for that reason. The two maps 23 and 24 are published, and we hope in January we have published 20, 21, and 22. 20 is quite important because we have the UDR deforestation regulation. This can help also to see what's happening with this. With one of the classes are forests, and for this regulation will be very important. But we are going to work in this kind of things also. The next one, please. These are our more or less our results. We are happy. We have more than 80%, and in some classes more 90% of good results. We are happy, but we can improve. To improve, we need that again, and for that reason, we need to see the results. And please tell us what you are doing good. We consider some important classes since mangroves. The mangroves are very important in the region also. The next one, please. And these are some of the results. Okay, we make a big difference between the old map of 23 and 24. You can see this is mainly because we consider another classification. We consider 7 classes to 11 classes. Okay. These are published yet, are free in our page. Please, the next one. Well, this is another example of the results. Okay, I think this is Guatemala. I think. And the next one, please. The next. Okay, you can access to the webpage. You will see this, and you can download, choose. You can choose the different classes and download the maps. Please, the next one. This is 23. Okay. Okay. We are, as I told you, we are processing the new years. We hope to fill the gap 2015 to 2025 in the next year. Why 2015? Because a Copernicus program, satellite program, starts in 2025, and for that reason, from this moment, we have enough information to do this. Okay. One important thing, as I told you, is we need to define what we are going to the next steps. The level 2 classification. The level 2 classification will be very important, but we can do alone. Okay. The next one. Well, we have a small committee which are helping us in this task. Rosario is part of this San Rosario, and we have a first proposition for the region about how we can advance in level 2, and we will send you soon. The main idea is to have some feedback of this proposition. Okay, the next one, please. A second product. The next one, please. Is a urban atlas. What is the next one? The urban atlas. The next. Yes, perfect. The urban atlas. What is a land use land cover for cities. But what we do, we have we are starting for that reason. We choose each capital city of the countries of Latin America and Caribbean. Okay. Once again, we have a small classification, 11.1, and we need to advance also in the next level. Please, the next one. Okay. Our results, we are happy with the results. In general, the classes are good. For all this product, the satellite image is one of the main data used, but we need another data. We use all the data which is available with enough metadata and protocols. The next one, please. Here's an example. This is Kingston, for instance. This is the old map and the new map. You can see the different classification, what are the classification, which are street, where are parks, where residential regions, etc. And you can download all this information. The next one, please. Okay, here an example. This is Lima. We make 2023 because we get enough information. For that reason, the maps are improved, and the boat map 2023 and 2024 are available in our web page. Please, the next one. This is the web page where you can get the information. Next, and just go ahead, please. Next, the next. This is the team. This is very important. There are people doing this. Some of the people are behind me, and they are who made the real effort. We sell a few. And this the next one, which is the last. That's last NPM. No, yes, this is a web page where you can access and get all the information. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very Thank you very much, Dr. Ortega. Thanks a lot. Quite insightful. Thanks to the academic network, for which in the Americas, Rosario is a representative, and I think she has her finger on the button. She might want to say something. Yeah, you need to push on the right. Yeah. Well, that maybe that's not because you were not on the agenda.
As I'm friend. No, no problem. No, it is only just to thank that Jaime first to be invited have this presentation from the academia, and thanks Jaime and all the team that you are doing a great job. So first of all, congratulate for that. Secondly, like we have witnessed here, I encourage you to join us as representative of the academic network, to join the GeoAI community, also with other parts of the team that are working, in order to be able to support this community and also to give that feedback on all the things you're working. So we invite you to join this community. And also I want to share that they are doing some courses in different, they made it in Chile regarding some thematics. They will go into Uruguay in November. Well, we are in November, the 22 and more, in order to give courses related to a specific thematic, but also GeoAI. So that's something that we really want to thank, because it's local involvement and local training for the people. That is great. And the other thing that I want to share with the community is that, and please let us know, we are preparing in order to support this group, an inventory of all the courses that are being given by the university and centers of education and training regarding this thematic to share with the community. So please, back at home, let us know and share. We will share with you the QR code and all the information in order to fulfill this information to support also this community.
Thank
It
you.
deserves my time. I deserve it.
Now, so that was all the presenters for today. Thanks to each one of them. As you could see, that was quite a diverse set of examples, presentations that we've seen today. This is not the end. This is the beginning, actually. This is a dialogue between all the members of the community. So you have already been encouraged to join, to remain active. I will do the same. Come and share your experience. So we're looking ahead for the launch of a series of virtual technical sessions to come. So this session, there will be additional opportunities for learning and exchange. And further details, whenever they're ready, will be shared. So as I said, it's a dialogue. And we can, for those that have time, we can actually continue and discuss, maybe ask questions to our presentators. I will, however, have to leave you in the capable hands of my two colleagues, because I am already presenting in another session, apparently. So I'll turn to you. Very big thanks again. And if I don't see you by the end of the day, hope to see you all very soon.
Yeah, just let's take a few minutes. If you have any question related to the presentations that we had, or just any idea, any comment, so you are welcome. Go ahead.
Can I speak in Spanish? Okay. Quisiera saber.
Is the same one channel or is it another channel?
It's A. No. This is the one. A. Yes,
Okay.
it's the same
Yeah,
one.
yes.
You turn it on.
Ok. Quisiera saber si algunos de los países o de las iniciativas han trabajado respecto, en primera parte, con las políticas y normas sobre la inteligencia artificial y también sobre el uso ético de los datos. Con Rosario algo hablamos respecto a un estudio que estaban haciendo respecto al uso ético de los datos respecto a la información geoespacial. Desconozco si involucra o no lo que es la gestión de la información con la IA. Eso quería saber si hay algo, si han trabajado algo, si hay algún lugar donde pueda buscar o identificar para poder interpretar lo que han trabajado hasta ahora. Gracias.
Yeah, I will try to answer, and my colleague probably will add on top of that. So, our perspective related to GeoAI, for sure, we continue, to follow all work. We have a lot of, initiatives, across the country in terms of, the ethical use of AI, and there are some concerns, coming from different players across the country. As mapping agency, certainly we are worried about any negative impacts that can be that we can see related to our work. But the angle that we try, it is we are a mapping agency. People come to us because, there is a kind of confidence, in the work that we're doing. So we address it through the quality control. So even if it is an AI generated data, we try always to have a filter, through human, that can validate, the information. For sure, we are not doing the same validations that we did in the past, but we try each data that we publish, people, our people, our experts, have to look at this data because to publish. So this is the way we address it. Probably in the future, as we are talking about automation, we need always, all time, to have some concerns related, to any type, of legal or ethical issues that can raise, related to AI.
And I just wanted to add, some of our colleagues in another division have proposed, and so very early on, to create best practices for ethical use of GeoAI. But it's still very early stage. Sort of, the discussion is on the proposal stage. We do have, in the Government of Canada, frameworks for the ethical use of AI in general, which I think apply to GeoAI as well. So if you were interested, I could share with you. I'd have to put some documentation. I sit on the Government of Canada subcommittee on AI ethics, so I could certainly share a document. But I think much of the concerns and materials for AI will apply to GeoAI equally. So.
Any other question or comment?
I want to say thank you to everybody with your patience.
I think we have another.
Sí, Costa Rica, sí.
Gracias. Al colega de de Copernicus acerca de cuál es la resolución espacial que se utiliza en el mapa de cobertura del suelo y la relación que se puede tener a la hora de mostrarla en la escala o la comparación con la escala de mapeo, ¿verdad? O sea, ¿a qué escala la puedo representar cartográficamente?
Voy a responder en parte, acá están quienes lo hicieron, quizás tienen alguna respuesta más técnica, así que Camila, si hay algo, digo alguna tontera me dice. Ya, a ver, Copérnico, tú sabes, tiene una resolución en las bandas que más usamos son de 10 y 20 metros. Por lo tanto, nuestros mapas no pueden tener una resolución mucho mayor que ellos, ¿verdad? Ahora, para la clasificación, lo que estamos usando son, para los entrenamientos de los modelos de inteligencia artificial, usamos datos que vienen de fuentes muy variadas y por lo tanto, igual ahí tenemos ciertas limitaciones. Datos que vienen de algunos mapas, por ejemplo. Algunos países están construyendo mapas y por lo tanto eso es una información que nos sirve, ¿verdad? En otros casos hemos tenido trabajos de terreno, donde la gente define un protocolo para definir qué es lo que es un píxel con bosque. Por ejemplo, dan un cierto porcentaje mínimo de cobertura. Entonces son varios los patrones que uno va utilizando para generar la clasificación. No sé si con eso respondo en parte a lo que quería.
Sí, y luego, digamos, ¿cómo la escala la puedo representar? O sea, espacial, si puedo hacer una relación para representarla cartográficamente a una escala determinada.
Ahí me pillas un poco. O sea, nuestros mapas están a esa resolución. No,
Pero digamos, sí, eso.
Sí, no se transforma a otra escala. Entiendo que hay mapas que se dicen que se pueden usar a distintas escalas, una 25.000, un tema de hectáreas. Aquí estamos trabajando a nivel de píxel. Aquellos mapas, de hecho, que no podían ser representados a nivel de píxel de 10 o 20 metros como a escalas más pequeñas se descartaron para el entrenamiento y se mantiene, debido a que es un TIFF, se mantiene eso de 20 metros.
Sí, es un raster.
Es un raster.
Okay. Y luego también con respecto a esto que conversábamos del control de calidad, ¿qué tipo de control de calidad se le aplica?
A ver, estamos...
Sí, he escuchado también que hay una nueva tecnología que se utiliza en Google Earth Engine que se llama AlphaEarth, de AlphaEarth Foundation, y que eso también podría aportar al control de calidad.
O sea, el control de calidad lo que estamos haciendo básicamente estamos viendo, nuestras métricas están basadas en los datos que tenemos y usamos cosas clásicas como si tengo 100 datos, 70-30, cosas por el estilo. Lo que sí estamos pidiendo un poco como control de calidad es a quienes utilicen los mapas nos den el feedback, ¿ya? Ahora, lo de Alpha es lo que está haciendo super resolución. Lo que ellos hicieron fue entrenar una red neuronal que tome el mapa de 10 metros y lo baje su resolución, o suba su resolución a 1 metro. Sigue siendo un método de inteligencia artificial, entonces yo no creo que AlphaEarth sea una buena manera de verificar tus datos porque ellos ya tienen un sesgo por su red neuronal que tienen entrenada. Entonces, otra cosa distinta sería tener acceso a imágenes de alta resolución, nativas, y poder compararlas con ellas, ¿ya? Pero básicamente lo que estamos haciendo es comprobando con nuestros datos para hacer temas de entrenamiento y validación, y por otro lado lo que estamos también es un poco recibiendo el feedback de las personas que lo están usando para ir viendo un poquito eso. Estamos en eso. Como digo, los alfa suena muy bien, pero hay que mirarlo con un poquito de cuidado. Puede tener un sesgo, hay que ver qué tan buena es su red neuronal y cómo son sus parámetros también, porque le puedo creer mucho a eso y eso ya tiene un sesgo y un error contenido.
Y finalmente, en Costa Rica, yo trabajo en el Instituto de Estadística y tenemos un levantamiento de campo y también utilizando imágenes con fotointerpretación de las viviendas. Si es esta nube de puntos de las viviendas, podría funcionarles a usted como un aporte para determinar la parte de urbana, pues, ¿verdad?
La gente dice, son música para mi oído. De todas maneras, de hecho, un poco lo que estamos buscando es generar convenios de manera de que distintos organismos públicos o privados que estén dispuestos a entregarnos información para hacer mejores mapas, y así les entregamos mejores mapas a ustedes, pero incluso mejor, si están dispuestos a compartirlos abiertamente, perfecto, y podemos firmar los convenios, lo que sea. Evidentemente, eso es lo que necesitamos. Eso.
Buenos días. Mi pregunta era en relación a la programación que tenemos de la comunidad GeoAI. ¿Cómo, o recapitular, cómo hacen los países para poder incorporarse e integrarse a esta comunidad y a estas capacitaciones? Y en el caso de los profesionales que se designen, ¿qué prerequisitos deben tener?
Yes, right. Yeah. Gracias. Thank you for the question. So to join, I'll just take your email and add you to the list, and anyone else in your organization would be on this mailing list. All are welcome to attend the trainings. I think to get the most out of the trainings, a background in geospatial is sort of the essential part. But they are designed to begin from little knowledge in AI, right? But programming experience would be helpful. If they have some programming, if they can use a little bit of Python, this would help. See. But ideally, it's worth mentioning the academic network would also like to indicate the courses that would fit with the curriculum, but we hope that these courses will help develop some basic competencies in AI after several months.
Yeah, we have to free the room at 11 online. Online, if you have any question, feel free to jump in. We have, I think, one question in the room. Go ahead before people online decided, if they have.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to ask you, how can we get a partnership like Jamaica have with you guys?
Tough question. So in reality, this is a program, that is open, to all countries that are on a list, of, I forget, ODA. I don't know which country. Yeah. I don't know exactly which country, you have to look, at this list. If your country is on the list, theoretically, you can apply for that. The way to apply is to start maybe conversation, with the Canadian embassy in your country. It is your starting point. After that, the way the program works, you apply through your embassy, Canadian embassy in your country. Canadian embassy will reach out to Global Affairs and to us, because the program is funded by the Canadian Global Affairs Canada. We at Natural Resources Canada, we are a partner, to implement, the project. So you apply. When you have the support from Canadian embassy in your country, they reach out to Global Affairs Canada. If they are interested, they reached out to us to say, hey, we have this request. Do you want, to implement this or not? Depending, because, we need to look, internally if we have the capacity, because it's a problem, capacity. If it is the case, all the 4 parts, they are on board. We start the project. This is the way.
So if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email is available, probably the email you were forwarded. And we look forward to seeing you at the trainings in January and by email to find facilitators. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.